This is the part of the show where we give you a plant that's doing something great in the garden right now. And that if you were to walk by it and it was in somebody else's garden, you would think, damn, I wish I'd planted that because I've got a gap in my garden right now and that would look great. So for now, mid-June, right? Is that where we are?
Yeah.
All right. What's yours, Les?
Rose Campion, which is the Lychnis coronaria, which is a fun plant because a lot of people just grow it for the foliage. Well, I know why you don't like it, and I'm going to solve that problem. God, you are difficult. She's just, if you are listening to this and not watching, she's misbehaving terribly. And if you're watching, you'll know how. I won't even describe it. It's so base. Lychnis coronaria is grown for its foliage, which happens to be not green when Marianne says it's silver. It's actually really, really silver. It's like,
It hits you in the face silver, okay?
it's
Unlike
like,
my very nuanced silver of geranium tuberosum.
this is like Dusty Miller silver. It is. There's no doubt that it's silver, and it's a cute little rosette of leaves that are ovate, about 4 or 5 inches long, and it can grow into a nice little clump. I first noticed this plant when I was a new gardener and I'm just on the lookout for plants and I'm just driving down the street, probably thinking about, what's for dinner. And I got to pick up these damn kids. And what the hell is that? And it was silver foliage with a bright pink, which I love. Bright pink, like so pink, it's almost red.
Magenta.
That's it. Flower on the top that's got 5 petals is sort of the shape and size of a periwinkle flower, a vinca flower. It's an incongruous mix of colors that would make Marianne very upset. However,
Vulgar, so vulgar.
it gets your attention if you're a new gardener. You're like, well, that's cool. And that's where I was. But there's a white one. There's the Alba. And you can buy the seeds. You can spread the seeds. Once you get it, you're going to have the seeds. If you buy the seeds, it is such a seedy plant. But it's great. It loves rocky, dry soil. It does not need a lot of water. It is not going to be eaten up by the deer. And it does not flower for very, very long. But again, you have those rosettes of silver, true silver, like not gold, but silver, not green, but silver. Silver, like my hair, silver.
I gotta back up on this because I'm sorry. You're going down the road thinking, what's for dinner? And I gotta pick up those damn kids. Wow. Yeah. Let's all sit with that for just a moment. Let's just sit with that for a moment, listeners.
Wait, you're the one who says that Emma says that you don't have any pictures of family on your phone. You just have pictures of plants. So just let's not call the kettle black if you're the pot or whatever. Okay.
Noir. My kettle is noir. Okay, we'll move past that then. You're right. You are correct.
I love my kids. I loved them then. I love them now.
You want no more comments on this plant? I take it from somebody who says, damn, glad I didn't plant that.
But you would like the Alba because it does self-sow and this is great. It's not as good as, say, the Orlea or your cow parsley for poking up here and there, but it's got that same effect of poking up here and there. It's kind of cool.
I do like the white. I do really like the white. And because the gray fuzziness almost of the leaves with the white is really striking to me. But man, that magenta. What do you pair that with? And
I like
and
it.
still
I
hold
like
your
it a
head
lot.
up in your gardening circles.
The gardening circles in which you will be judged by Marianne. Go ahead, tell us about your plant.
All right. Well, I've got a prickly one today, feeling prickly like me, which is the Eastern Prickly Pear or Opuntia humifusa. I'm sort of laying on the ground, sort of, spreading out. I found this plant absolutely fascinating from my very first time in Maryland when we moved back here 4 years ago. Because it was a cactus. And what the hell is it doing in this temperate, rainy season? And I just sort of thought, oh, somebody's doing that. And they're not going to get away with it because it'll die over the winter. And then it was still there and it was getting bigger and it was getting bigger and bigger. And I've been fascinated ever since. I got a little paddle from them. This is a cactus, folks. If you've never grown it, it has paddles that can get to be quite large, 6 to 8 inches tall, or maybe even a little bit more, maybe as much as 6 inches across, but some of them are a little smaller. It looks, okay, here's the caveat. It looks like hell over the winter. It really does. And into the early spring as well. It's not, it's sort of coming back. It's like it gets completely deflated. Like it couldn't possibly be alive. It's so
Do you mean the sort
sucked.
of feeling that you would get if Marianne came to judge your garden, if you grew that sort of deflated?
I'm never going to get an invite to a garden if you keep this up. Okay? I
You
like
you
seeing
made your
people's
bed,
gardens.
and now you will eat it.
I like everyone's garden. They're lovely, as Anne
Ah.
Wareham would not say. Okay, where was I? You made me lose my train of thought on this fabulous plant. All right, so it sucked like a little dark crystal muppet, you know, like this. And it looks terrible. And then all of the sudden, it starts to warm up a little bit, and these things puff out, and all of a sudden, it is a cactus again. And then it blooms. And I don't know if I would be as in love with it if it didn't bloom as amazingly as it blooms. But at the tip of each of these petals, you have this clear yellow bloom that's just outstanding when it's all together, when it does it all together. And then it forms a little fruit, which is edible. I've never eaten them actually, but they are edible, which then turn red. And so those are the little fruits you're picking off in the winter when you're trying to clean it up a little bit. So here are my tips on this.
Double
Uh,
gloves.
double gloves.
Oh my God.
Because we live in an eastern temperate forest ecoregion, there are a lot of leaves here, which are not in the desert. So other cacti don't have to worry about. But I have got 1,000 sycamore leaves all over this thing. And then, of course, the opportunistic weeds get in there, particularly clover, the ones that you can't get to easily without sticking your whole arm down in there. And
So
you
much
can see how bad this is
blood.
because these paddles do not have spines, but what they have is something worse, something so much worse than paddle and than spines. And that is glochids. And they are actually modified leaves, believe it or not. They are, I know, how can they possibly be leaves? They are tiny. They are transparent. They are barbed. The bastards are barbed, which is why, unlike a spine, which you put your hand on and then go, oh, damn it, I just got impaled. But then that's the end of it. They stay with you. They hold on to your skin because they're like little fish hooks.
They make you say bad words for a much longer time than something like just, a
Like
thorn.
3 hours later when you rub your face and you go, oh, they're there too. Right?
They're awful.
So I realize that this is not like, the best way to sell this plant, but the way that I cope with it is that in the late winter, early spring, when it's still really cold, those little glochid bastards are just less turgid. I don't know. I don't know if there's like blood supply running through them. I have no idea. But they don't tend to be as quick to get into you. And I wear double gloves, and that's when I do my weeding and my playing and pulling the leaves off. You can get as many leaves off of them as possible. This is not a leave the leaves plant, folks. In the fall, you're going to be quids in the spring. So this year, I was doing all that work in the spring and I hated it. And I'm just doing it because I love the blooms so much.
It sounds like you might go first with a leaf blower and then just do what you have to do with the gloves, right?
Yeah, I think a leaf blower I've used a couple times, but some of the big sycamore leaves, they get stuck. They get stuck on those little they get barbed too. They're not happy about
Oh.
it. It's the clover that I resent the most because the clover just gets in there and it's hard to weed out. But I have some sedum growing right now over, the sort of through it, and that seems to be okay. It's giving it a little bit of fun, but it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm letting it. It's not something you'd put in the border. You put it
No.
somewhere where it's a
Somewhere
thing.
far, far away where you
Yeah,
send the
dry.
children if they're bad. Hey, so we have something in common with this. Damn, I wish I planted that. Marianne and I don't usually get together and say,
No.
what plant are you going to do? But I don't like hers. I would never grow Opuntia. I would never grow Opuntia. It's just a torture plant. I'm sorry. I no. And she will never grow mine. So there you have it.
That's true. But yeah, we both think that they're cool. So there you go. Takes all kinds to garden, folks. And if you like both of these plants, you're obviously a better gardener than we are.